All right, good morning, wrestling fans. This is Mike for the Internet Wrestling Chief, and I'm here to bring you my WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 predictions. And it's going to be this coming Saturday. It's going to be stacked because not only do you have Monday Night Raw, the go home show for WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday. You got Monday Night Raw. You got NXT, their go home. You got the go home shows for WrestleMania and NXT Stand and Deliver. You have AEW Dynamite. Saturday you have NXT Stand and Deliver. You got AEW Collision and Night One of WrestleMania. Now, here's the thing. Number one, I think the AEW fans that cover AEW wrestling on YouTube, they should leave the other wrestling reviewers on YouTube alone. I mean, come on, man. I mean, seriously, what really did they say that was so offensive and that was so, I don't know, uh, how did they bully Tony Khan and all those AEW wrestlers? I mean, I watch both. I support both WWE and AEW because I've been a wrestling fan since 1986. I I think the whole casual fan, I'm a casual fan comment, that's a cop out. I think you go out of your way to see what other people are saying about your favorite promotion just for the sake, of trolling because you do troll people. I mean, what was so wrong what JD from New York and Solomon Monster said? I mean, I happened to check for myself. I happen to see, now I see the title of the video because these guys, these YouTube wrestling community members, they'll say, "Oh, you got triggered." No, that was not the case. If it's easy, you see the title, and they make it so easy. So what did I mean? What exactly? I mean, whatever or not they saw the AEW Dynasty pay per view, maybe they did, I guess. But I mean, but this has been going on since 2002. And I'm pretty sure even further than that. I'm pretty sure WCW back in the day got a hate comparisons, uh, saying it's WWE light and stuff like that. They probably got the same comments that AEW has right now as we speak. So this is just not just this is just those AEW fans that cover AEW on YouTube. I mean, seriously. I mean, has to be fair, uh, I think Vince McMahon. I'll agree. I think to a point. I think since after he bought WC World Championship Wrestling, at the time, I think he let it. It slipped. I think he really got. He really, you know, there were some storylines. They were kind of hokey and stuff like that, and it probably as far as like the wrestling goes inside the execution of that storyline, I think the wrestlers, I guess they had to do what was in front of what was in front of them. So I just don't understand really. I really don't understand what JD said was so wrong. And I mean, you knew he even said it at the big before. He even said it in his video. He says he'll say things to get people mad. He said it. I mean, it's not for the sake of complaining about a wrestling promotion because TNA wrestling got the same thing, got the same hate as AEW, almost the same. TNA wrestling. Now that 2010 when Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff got involved, okay, they don't get a pass on that one. So, and Ring of Honor, I think my only take with Ring of Honor, I don't understand why didn't Tony Khan just put, instead of putting the AEW content on Max, if you bought Ring of Honor, I think I would have gotten the best of both worlds if you're a hardcore wrestling fan like myself. You know how like WWE has ECW and all the content, the entire ECW library. I think I would have went that way if you're a wrestling fan, so you can have everything all at once. So that's really cool. Now, before I think, I'll just before that's all I got to say about that. So, with that being said, let's get to the predictions. All right. WWE Women's Championship match, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Okay, well, I like the build up for this one. Let's see. Let's go back. It goes all the way back to January. Charlotte Flair makes her return to WWE after her knee injury. Comes back, wins the Royal Rumble, eliminating Roxanne Perez. And Charlotte, was trying to determine who would she like to face at WrestleMania. At first, she almost chose Rhea Ripley, so we would have seen that again. So again, to those AEW fans that used to watch, or I guess that watch WWE, I guess that used to watch it, or just watch it just to see what they're doing, I guess. If this was Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, you would have been crying anyway. So I don't know. I really don't see what the problem is, because you're not getting Paul Levesque. I mean, this is his second year in charge of the content of what's going on in WWE. Even though Dwayne Johnson runs the TKO, so I you kind of think, so if you think they're not, you think the build for WrestleMania is lackluster, then how come? Why is it the ratings are so high? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. But anyway, this program, this was a one for the ages. It kind of reminded, especially at first, it kind of reminded me of the of a Jerry Springer episode. Remember that huge brawl that one few Fridays ago, right before the old face to face, where Wade Barrett was the moderator, and Charlotte said that Ludwig Kaiser was in her DMs. That's Tiffany Stratton's boyfriend, anyway. But anyway, that was sort of funny. It sort of reminded me of the whole Ric Flair, Jay Lethal woo off back in, what was that, 2010? But anywho, my pick for this one, I gotta give it to Tiffany Stratton in an upset. I don't. I mean, I just get. This will be a good match. I think it'll go back and forth, but my pick for this one, I'm going with Tiffany Stratton. You know, that's kind of stupid putting the belt on her in the first place, only for Charlotte Flair to get it back. So I got Tiffany Stratton winning this one. Next up, Jade Cargill. Oh wait, I don't even know. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Well, let's go all the way back to last year's WrestleMania. Jade Cargill made her WrestleMania debut teaming up with Naomi and Jade Cargill. And after that, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair were the women's tag team champions at the time, right up until that mysterious attacker, which revealed to be Naomi the whole time. So Naomi filled in for Jade Cargill at the time before the reveal, after the Elimination Chamber. So, but you know what though? I think the one takeaway for me is wasn't beyond Naomi was a tag co-holder of the women's tag team champions with Sasha Banks before Sasha Banks left the WWE as to join AEW as Mercedes Moné. So why would you go back to being a co-holder of a women's tag team championships just to feud with Jade Cargill? I mean, Naomi was doing her own thing in TNA wrestling. She was the former Knockouts champion. I mean, which that's pretty cool if you ask me. I mean, if you ask any ex WWE wrestler that signed with TNA that's done well, I have to say I put her next to Mickey James, because it really, let's see, the only one that probably hasn't really done that well. Well, she's a women's tag team champion in TNA. Is, I would have to say, Dana Brooke. Well, now she's Ash by Elegance. So now Naomi is taking on this new persona, this new heel persona. You know, didn't I think they experimented? I think they did experiment with this once with Paige, and I think it did, and it fell flat. So I'm gonna have to go as far as I can't see Jade Cargill losing this one. Her first WrestleMania match. So they got to do something. In fact, I have she's one of my Jade Cargill's one of my picks to win the women's Money in the Bank. Now it's only a matter of time if Charlotte Flair catches Tiffany Stratton in the rematch, because there'll definitely be a rematch, probably at Backlash, obviously. So Jade Cargill is my pick to win here. Next is the singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Royal Rumble winner, main event, Jey Uso challenging Gunther. Okay, this goes all the way back. Well, actually, these two are no strangers to each other. Last year's WrestleMania. No, not last year's WrestleMania. Though Gunther lost the Intercontinental Championship to Sami Zayn. So, but Jey Uso did challenge Gunther a couple times for the Intercontinental Championship and lost that one. And he's challenged Gunther before for the World Heavyweight Championship. So now this is Jey Uso's final shot. Though he does, so I guess the storyline, the backstory of this is Jey Uso's not is lost his confidence. He's not sure if he could beat Gunther. Excuse me. Though, you know what? I would have to say Gunther's run hasn't really been as dominant as he was when he was in NXT UK, where he was the longest reigning UK champion for that brand and the Intercontinental Championship. So he's had two dominant different singles titles runs. So I'm going, you know what? anything could happen in WWE. I mean, for a long, I mean, they said it. They've been saying it. That's their moniker for the last how many years now? What, since the 1-2-3 Kid pinned Razor Ramon? So I got Jey Uso to win the World Heavyweight Championship. You got the whole Yeet movement going on. I'm pretty sure Jey Uso's shirt is selling pretty well. So next up, tag team match for the World Tag Team Championships. Champions the War Raiders defend against the New Day. They just turned heel. Now, this was just a add-on. They never really, I mean, they did feud with the War Raiders before the War Raiders were they were the Viking Raiders, was it? I think on SmackDown a couple years, 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I think the last time these two teams faced each other, I think it was a Viking, some sort of a Viking war, a street fight or something. I don't, whatever it was. So, and now, but now this time the New Day, they're the heels this time, and this all started when during the 10th anniversary of the New Day, where Big E was invited and Xavier and Kofi turned on him, and they all got heat for turning on Big E. So New Day earned the tag team opportunity. They won by DQ in the last matchup. I think last week's Raw. So I'm going with the New Day here, just to see what those AEW fans that used to cover WWE, just to see their reaction. So next up, singles match for the WWE United States Championship. Two-time champion, LA Knight defends against Jacob Fatu. This is gold. Now, I really didn't, the last LA Knight's last title run, I had to say it was so-so. I didn't expect him to drop the belt to Shinsuke Nakamura. So, and then only for Shinsuke Nakamura to lose it back to LA Knight. So I didn't understand that one. I don't know if there's like a third match. Is Shinsuke Nakamura going to cost LA Knight the title? Maybe there's a parlay to that. Now, as far as that goes, I got Jacob Fatu winning. The guy's been killing it in his promos. So you got to go with the Jacob Fatu, man. Next is Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. You know what? This one I would have to say is the bathroom match. No disrespect to Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano. I don't understand the logic, the ideology of this one. But I guess Lucha see is Lucha get. So I got Chad Gable winning this one. Yeah, you got to give it to him. He got away from that whole shush please and thank you. That whole thing with the Alpha Academy. He is a former he tried his run at, I don't know where his singles run is now, but now with this whole Lucha gimmick, the El Grande gimmick, I'll say, I'm going to have to go with Chad Gable winning this one. I mean, come on. This is the only match I'll have to say for night one is the takeaway. Next up, triple threat match. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. CM Punk has Paul Heyman in his corner. Now, this one goes all the way back to 2023, with the exception of Roman Reigns. See, Seth Rollins had a problem with CM Punk when he came back. So, and while that whole thing was going on, even Drew McIntyre, I'll get to him in the next night too. He had a problem with CM Punk. Then it all came to a head at the Royal Rumble, where all three of these guys were eliminated from the Rumble. Seth Rollins attacked CM Punk and Roman Reigns, which led to this match. Though CM Punk has a win over, so CM Punk and Seth Rollins have wins over each other. The only caveat of this one is that Roman Reigns inadvertently helped Seth Rollins win the cage match. But now, ever since last year's Survivor Series, CM Punk said that if he joined the Bloodline, the original Bloodline, to beat the new Bloodline, Paul Heyman would owe CM Punk the favor. And I guess the favor was Paul Heyman is now aligning himself with CM Punk. But something interesting came up from last week's Monday Night Raw for the build-up for this match. Because Seth Rollins had a problem with Paul Heyman. You know, wouldn't it be something if Paul Heyman turned on CM Punk and Roman Reigns only to sign with Seth Rollins? Because Paul Heyman turned on CM Punk before, back at the 2013 Money in the Bank. If you remember that, wouldn't that be something? Yeah, they got this past Friday they aired the promo. They had the history between that vignette, the vignette of the history with Paul Heyman and CM Punk. Anything can happen if you think about it. I know this has nothing to do with it, but Paul Heyman, Paul Bearer, and the Undertaker, they were tight for 5 years, right up until SummerSlam in 1996. So you never know. I'm just saying. So, though CM Punk got his dream of main eventing WrestleMania, though I guess it's not the main event that he wanted. So, I kind of thought the favor was he gets added to the match on night 2, but I guess that's not the case. So, my pick to win this one, I'm going with CM Punk. So, my picks for night 1, Tiffany Stratton, Jey Uso, Jade Cargill, The New Day, Jacob Fatu, El Grande, and CM Punk. Now for night 2 of WrestleMania, triple threat match for the Women's World Championship, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Now, okay. This all goes back to when Bianca Belair was the winner of the Women's Elimination Chamber. So originally, it would have been, I would have liked to see Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, because I really don't think these two ever faced each other before in a singles match. But then Rhea Ripley dropped her title to Io Sky. You know what? I picked Io Sky to win last year over Bayley. Bayley won that last year's WrestleMania. I'm going with Io Sky to win this time. So this would be something. Io Sky beating Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley on the same night. That'd be nice. Next up, I don't understand this one. The logic of this one. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I guess they gave these two something to do. These two are really great athletes, but I'm going to have to give the athleticism and experience to AJ Styles. I got AJ Styles winning this one. No offense to Logan Paul. I mean, his matches are good. In fact, I kind of had him winning the. At first, he would have been my dark horse to win the Elimination Chamber, because that would have been cool if Logan Paul sided with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and whatever uh, faction that's going to be, as we'll have to wait and see. So AJ Styles is my pick. Next is Women's Tag Team Championship match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, the first ever three-time women's champions, versus the new team, the unlikely team of Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. This women's gauntlet match this past Friday, that was awesome. That was, especially the part where that was funny when Natalia and Maxine Dupree were in there, and Maxine Dupree did the whole worm thing, and she got pinned. That was the only funny thing. That was the best part of that match. And Natalia wasn't even tagged in. So, as far as, but now the caveat to this one is Bayley and Lyra Valkyria faced each other on this past Monday on Raw for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. At first, Bayley was frustrated and she didn't shake her hand, Lyra Valkyria's hand after the match, but then she changed her mind and she shook it anyway. I think we're going to see a heel turn in Bayley again. Is it possible that we might see two belt Lyra? That's a possibility. I'm down with that if it goes that route, but I'm gonna have to go with the champions because Liv Morgan, she didn't really have her WrestleMania moment when it counted, so I guess you gotta have to give it to her. So she is the former women's champion. So I got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez over Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Next up, fatal four-way match for the Intercontinental Championship. Champion Braun Breaker. He's in his second title reign against the newest member of the WWE roster, Penta, from AEW. Formerly of AEW versus Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. This all started when Dominic Mysterio tried to recruit Penta to join the Judgment Day, but Penta refused, and Dominic cost Penta the Intercontinental Championship. Penta suffered his first loss, though it was in a tag team match. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we already seen Finn Balor as the Intercontinental Champion before. So I'm going to have to go with Dominic Mysterio because the champion doesn't have to be involved in the decision. So I got Dominic Mysterio to win this one. If Penta wins, that's cool. If Braun Breaker retains, that's cool also. Next up, Sin City Street Fight. Drew McIntyre taking on Damian Priest. Now, this goes all the way back to the Elimination Chamber. And when Damian Priest was the World Heavyweight Champion. So, though, I have to say, I think the funniest part was where Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest were fighting in the parking lot on top of a car. Supposedly, glass got into Drew McIntyre's eye. So I guess they're poking fun at the whole CM Punk, Jack Perry uh, debacle with the whole real glass stuff, I guess. But then it got even more funny when Drew McIntyre had that eye patch. He was channeling the. You ever played the Metal Gear Solid Snake? He had that going on. So you got to get. I'm giving it to Damian Priest here. He had his moment. That was kind of cool. He had his moment over Drew McIntyre last year, so I'm going to give it to Damian Priest for this one. So Damian Priest is my pick. And next is the main event. Undisputed championship match, WWE championship match. Cody Rhodes taking on challenger of the winner of the elimination chamber match, John Cena, newly turned heel. This kind of reminds me of the whole the first time The Rock and John Cena faced each other. They all went back and forth, especially when John Cena brought back the Doctor of Thugonomics during that time in 2012. And I kind of thought this was going go back this way. So John Cena, his very first heel promo, he explained to the crowd, to the audience, why he turned heel, and then the second time, though the first time he went face to face with Cody Rhodes after he attacked Cody at the Elimination Chamber. Cody said that this is not the John Cena he wanted to face. And he said that John Cena was a bitch. So I kind of thought it was going to go, okay, are we going to see the Doctor of Thugonomics John Cena? Because he was a heel in the early part of 2003, if I can remember. And I think I think he did change his character around November in the fall of 2003 when he was. I do remember that he was involved in that Survivor Series match with Chris Benoit against. Oh, geez. Was that Kurt Angle's team? That was a long time ago. So, but any hoot, my pick to win this match, I went with Roman Reigns last year, so I was wrong there. So I'm going with the John Cena here. There's got to be a reason why he's the champion now. So, I mean, why he's going to be the champion this time around. I say break Ric Flair's record. I say go for it. Why not? This is John Cena's last run. Cody, yeah, that's an impressive. Though, quite honestly, who he faced, considering who Cody Rhodes faced during his title reign. Let's see, he faced Kevin Owens a few times, AJ Styles, even had his feud with the new bloodline, Solo Sikoa. So quite honestly, I mean, yeah, he took the John Cena schedule, but really, if you really look at who he faced. He faced Logan Paul. Yeah, Logan Paul was also a challenger. So now John Cena, And see, the last time John Cena was in a world championship match was what, SummerSlam 2021. So I'm gonna have to go with John Cena to win this one. So, recapping my night 2 predictions, I have Io Sky, AJ Styles, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Braun Breaker, no, Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio is my pick. Damian Priest and John Cena wins his 17th World Championship. So this is Mike, the Internet Wrestling Chief, for TikTok Wrestling. This is Mike. I'm out.